This is Paul. Yeah, I'm reading this. You and the Law. Yeah. When to consult a lawyer when a lawyer is essential. In criminal cases, you must have a lawyer. Even a glance at Chapter 4 should convince you of the folly of trying to represent yourself when charged with the commission of a felony or misdemeanor. The seriousness of the penalties if you're found guilty, in some cases depriving you of basic civil rights. In fact, the fact that criminal courts are so congested you may be held in jail for weeks or even months without a hearing. The risk that bail may be set at a figure you cannot afford to pay, the intricacies of criminal procedure all argue the wisdom of consulting a lawyer at once should you run afoul of the police or the public prosecutor in your area. Uh, you know, Federal law requires that you have the benefit of legal counsel. Now, let's say I was arrested when I was not in SQUIM on January 4th, because that happened. And Bruce Hanafy was appointed my public defender. And I went to his office after I gotten out of jail, and I said, now I want you to motion the court and remove that protection order. The petitioner didn't sign it. I wasn't given actual notice, and I want that done right away. Well, for whatever reason, Bruce decided that he was not going to motion the court to have the protection order removed because it violates the Fifth Amendment and 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution. That was his response. And then, of course, they responded, well, you got the protection order. You got it in the library. It's good enough. Now, let's say Bruce Hanafy did not do what I asked him to do. He decided that he was going to get me off from being charged with violating a protection order that violated my civil rights to start with. Now, there's always a question of when should you consult with a lawyer. Let's say you're a county commissioner and you're the president of the Mormon Church, and you think smokers are bad because in your denomination, if you smoke, if you drink caffeinated products, or you eat junk food, you really have committed some sort of sin. Now, I've been a very, I went to Bible college. I went to Northwest College, and I was a missionary, and I preached in jails and prisons, and I've been a licensed missionary with a couple different organizations, and I know quite a bit about Christianity. Trucker chaplain with Transport for Christ. I lived at a truck stop for a year, ministering to those that are truck drivers. Now, smoking has always been a problem in my personal life. Going to 5 years of Bible college while at the same time smoking. I remember once it was the dean of students or the registrar. He had a little talk with me about how, we're going to have to really monitor this, okay? We're going to have to make sure that somebody counsels you about smoking. And I went to Northwest University when I was 25, 26 years old. And then it was the most amazing thing. I'm sitting there looking at the guy like, oh yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's like the Holy Spirit descended on him and he shut up. I mean, it's like God shut his mouth. And then you know what he said to me? He said, I don't think we're going to do anything about this. Now, I would say, okay, that smoking is not good, and I have plans on not smoking. Yes. But there have been a few instances where, having smoked, I have accomplished things that non-smokers would not have accomplished. So, I know, standing in the back of the Tamuning Plaza talking to various individuals. Yep. I had actually talked to people that most other people wouldn't talk to. Now, let's say, as a father, you tell me that my smoking is the reason why I don't have custody of my sons right now. And you issue a protection order because I smoked cigarettes when I hadn't drank for 20 years. Have been a licensed missionary with two Christian missionary organizations, Believers Resource Center and Storehouse Ministries. Had preached in Clallam County's jail and Clallam County Correctional Facility. Yeah. Did you know that Jesus was a convict? They actually put him in prison. Ouch. Now, I know the Mormons are big on this whole Jesus thing. But if they whipped him, they put a crown of thorns on his head, they stole his personal property, then they nailed him to a cross. Seemed like there was some corrupt judges back then. Now, I know Jesus was guilty, wasn't he? Pow, 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 pow. He was guilty of angering those that were the elected and appointed of his day. He would often say, well, you know what you're doing? You're sinning now. Come to find out, you're crucifying those that do not deserve the crucifixion. Now, when you really start thinking about Jesus being convicted of the crime, Jesus was a convict. Now, let's just say that you decided you were going to put me in jail. You were going to violate my civil rights because I'm actually the opposite of a homeless smoker. Let's say I'm holy. I mean, hypothesize. What does a holy person look like? Yeah, what's that look like? I don't cuss, but I do. But I don't use curse words. I don't drink or do drugs. I know I should read the Bible more, but I've had some problems with those that had taken control of my mouth or my tongue, wanting the Bible to mean what it doesn't mean. Yeah, they convicted Jesus of what? Blasphemy. Now, let's say I provide the evidence, okay? I don't use my religiosity, I don't use my Christianity as a crutch for why it is that the judiciary refuses to enforce the laws of the United States.